And we are live. Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy James, where today I'm here to give you my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. It is not going to happen this video, but that's okay. I'm going to live to fight another day. Joining me is my co-host, Mrs. Best. Y'all say what's up to her.
Good afternoon. I will be on camera shortly. I am on the clock with work, y'all. But I will be on camera shortly. In the meantime, I hope everybody likes, shares, and subscribes.
No worries. We appreciate you being here, especially on the clock, getting double the paycheck. I wish I could pay you, but we got you, girl. We got you. Y'all, if this is not clear to y'all, this is Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 6, Reunion Part 2. And when I tell y'all, Meredith drew the Uno reverse card that I have ever seen done. Meredith, you ain't shit for this, but I get why you did it. And I am not mad at you. But, whoo, y'all want to stay to the end of this video. I'm letting y'all know that now because Meredith did some shit. I was like, wait a minute. I don't even know how to even process this. So we will get to that when we get there. DM Rocks is in the house. Hey, DM Rocks, thank you for being here. DM Rocks said, hey, I heard that Angie, Mary, Lisa, and Whitney are safe for next season. Also, allegedly, Brahman quit. Heather, Meredith, and Brittany status unknown. So, DM Rocks, I have a strong feeling. The reason why Meredith and Brittany's status is unknown is because now HR has to do an investigation now, based on what was dropped at the last part of this episode. They now have to do an investigation. And with this cast of ladies, because they let so much shit slide before, they can't do that again. So I can understand why Meredith and Brittany's statuses are unknown at this time. I'm sure we'll hear more later. As far as Heather goes, y'all know how I feel about Heather. Like, do I really have to go back over this? Yes, I do. Heather ain't had a storyline since season 1 of the show. Heather has not had a storyline. Heather has been getting the Giselle Bryant treatment of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City for years. So, for her status to be unknown, I feel like, because of that documentary, Heather's trying to renegotiate for more money. I really do feel, I'm going to say allegedly, because I don't know the terms of how this goes. But I feel like Heather's trying to renegotiate because of how successful that documentary was. I really do feel like that's why her status is unknown. I don't think they're getting rid of Heather, but I do think it's a monetary thing. That's my logical guess. And as I said, this is alleged. Heather did not confirm this. Heather did not say anything. I'm just going based on how I know reality TV antics and how that works. When you give something to Bravo that made them a lot of money, we're probably not getting the back end deal of it. So I think she's renegotiating for more money. My opinion. So, hey, Shani, thank you for being here. We appreciate your love, y'all. We got a lot to talk about. So the episode opens up where it left off last week. Angie has that scroll that Meredith gave her as a gift, and she passes it down to Andy. And Andy, says, okay, so what is this? And Angie explains that what's in the scroll is an account that was trolling her and have been trolling her and some of the other ladies for years. And her and Whitney kind of did a little test study to see if, who could this account belong to? So when they did the forgot password link, which when you do that, it goes to they send kind of a safety password to your phone number, if that's what you have as the recovery account. The phone number is actually Lisa's phone number. So Andy asked Lisa flat out, because Lisa said, oh my gosh, I'm glad we're going here. I'm glad we're doing this. So Andy calls out the number and says, Lisa, is that your phone number? Lisa says, yeah, but here, look at my phone. Look at my phone. There's no accounts to there. There's no accounts. Look at my phone. So Lisa said yes. And then after a whole bunch of more arguments, because the girl said, we knew it was you. We just waited for the right time to drop it. We knew it was you. And Heather said, I told you very intimate details that somehow this account has it. Yeah, Lisa, you're not shit. We knew it was you the whole time. And so Andy asked Lisa, well, you just admitted that was your phone number, so how did this account get to you? And Lisa said, no, it's not. It's not true. It's not false. It's not correct. It's not anything. I have nothing to do with this. I have nothing to do with Heather. This is not no goddamn receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots. This is not one of those moments. You're not going to lie on me. You're not going to lie. And I'm just like, Lisa, baby, you got caught. because this is what Lisa does. Lisa, when she's caught in some shit, she's gonna tell the truth the first time and then lie the rest of the time. That's how you know Lisa is lying. Because she'll immediately admit it, but then say, oh shit in her head, and then immediately try to dispute it. So I was like, Lisa, I 100% believe it's you. Now, do I think that she's running the account? No. I believe, this is my opinion, and this is all alleged. I think she has somebody to the forefront, but I think she has the power or control of the account, which is why her phone number was listed on there. So, Mrs. Best, I have to ask you, how did you feel about the opening sequence of this whole troll account attacking the ladies? Do you think Lisa did it?
Well, yeah, we had proof that Lisa did it. So it shouldn't be a question of anybody if Lisa did it. She obviously did it. At this point with Lisa, find a way to. She gives Phaedra Parks in white woman form. She just does.
Ooh,
Because
that's
when she
good.
admits to doing something, she's never going to admit to doing something wrong. And if she has to, it's only going to be because she's backed into a corner. If she's caught lying, she's going to do exactly what Lisa did here. So I feel like people who move like that on TV should not be given the energy. So that's all I really have to say. To me, the receipt was there. You clearly did it. Bravo. Lisa's okay to be on this show, but if Lisa's on this show, you have to get rid of allies for her. Because the more allies that Lisa has that are like Meredith, or people who think they're allies at one point, like Brittany and Angie, the more this lady's going to try and BS. So I'm just kind of like, switch up the cast before it's too late. Because we'll eventually get tired of Lisa responding like this when she's caught. Because then it'll be like, okay,
Absolutely.
so you're doing all this bullshit, but then when you're exposed, you're not doing anything that's of entertainment either. It's not the funnest to watch. So yeah. They need to
Exactly.
change up the cast. Otherwise, what makes Lisa woo and wow and interesting and controversial as a housewife, it'll get old and tired quickly.
Mhm. I agree. So Andy, after a couple of minutes, is losing control of the stage. The ladies are going back and forth about this whole troll account, who said what, who followed what, who admitted to what. Andy can't get them to calm down. So, in the first time in Housewives history, Andy gets his ass up, throws a tantrum, and walks off of the stage. And you heard Mary say, no, Andy, no, 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 Andy, come back. And even Mary was like, Andy, come back. He goes, you guys, I'm trying to get your attention. Like, what is it? I thought that was the most dramatic thing I have ever seen from Andy ever. Because Andy, you didn't do all of that when Teresa Judice pushed your ass back in your seat when she was trying to get to Danielle. So you didn't walk off the stage in tantrum then. So you mean to tell me that you can walk off the stage now and throw that tantrum? I thought that was so crazy. Like you didn't have to do all of that, Andy. You really did. That was so ridiculous. Mrs. Best, how did you feel about Andy walking off on that stage on them ladies like that?
It did feel pre-produced. He's walked off stage before, gotten frustrated, but I don't know. I felt pre-produced. I thought that they would be doing more before all of
Mm-hmm.
that happened. I don't know why. I just thought when we saw the preview that they would be doing more, but it was just a general back and forth. It wasn't even all that bad. We've seen worse on New Jersey. We've seen worse on Roni. I mean, I don't know. I feel like Andy needs to go, and it's just as animated and produced as some of these wives end up. But I don't really have much to say. I don't think it's the moment everyone thought. And yes, I am in a sundress to Shanny. It is not 15 degrees where I am at. It's cold as hell, but I'm also inside. I have a temperature control department, so it's not cold in here at all. If I go outside, I will be putting on my hat, my gloves, and a very large jacket.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy.
So yeah, so pretty much as Andy comes back and collects himself and gets the ladies to get on one accord, he breaks them out for lunch. So we have the ladies kind of split up. We have Heather and Whitney. They're talking about Lisa and Meredith and how they're just riding for each other and everything. You have Mary, Bromwyn, and Angie saying the same thing that they don't get it. Like they're just, on each other. And then you have Lisa and Meredith talking about I think it's weird that they're so obsessed with us. Like, this is so cringe. Like, Meredith's like, it's cringe. And Lisa's like, well, how did I do, Meredith? Did I do good? And Meredith said, yeah, you did good, Lisa. She goes, which part? And I'm like, how fucking old are you to really be worried about whether or not you read somebody for filth on the damn stage or not? Like, you won't see this in a couple of months anyway, so what fucking difference does it make? And Meredith said, as I said, yeah, I can't recall which part, so I'm sure you did fine, girl. You did good. She has to keep Lisa's head pumped up because they have an alliance. They're here to have each other's back, right, wrong, or indifferent. It's insane to watch, but that's what they have to do. So once they come back to the stage, we then get to Mary's, part of the story. We saw a lot of different things with Mary. We saw the conversation with her son. We saw the opening back of her church. We addressed a lot of different things with Mary in this segment. The first thing Andy asked is, how's Robert Jr. doing? And Mary explains the story is pretty much spot on what the blogs have said about Mary's son. That the ex-wife had called him up there, thinking that she wants him back or anything. Mary said he was delusional to think that, but he went over there anyway, and he kept doing it, even though they have this restraining order. So the last time he was there, they pretty much have tased him and they arrested him. And pretty much from what we understand is that no bail hearing was set for him, and that he's going to remain in jail until a judge actually figures out the rest of his sentencing. So Mary has not visited him in prison. He asked, how's Robert Sr. doing and taking this, has he been to see him? And she said, no, Robert Sr. hasn't been able to see him, but he plans to go visit him soon. And he's, all Robert Jr. wants is books. And then Mary says, I'm probably going to send him Heather's book. And Heather voluntarily says, no, I'll send him my book. I can do that. That's easy. And Heather also mentions that in her book, there's a chapter about Mary. And she says, I'm sure he will like that chapter. And Andy asks, well, have you read Heather's book? And she said, with a like cringe face, no, I didn't read Heather's book. And he goes, well, the chapter about you is very nice. Now, I don't know if this is in the new book that Heather's releasing or if it's the current book, Bad Mormon, because I could distinctly remember Heather going over to Mary's house and Mary confronting her about what she said in her book. So someone tell me if this is the new book that Heather wrote that has a nice chapter about Mary, or if this is the Bad Mormon book where she wrote about her. I need to know because I kind of felt like I got two different versions of the story. And that's when the infamous question of Heather asking Mary, do I look inbred? And Mary said, yeah, I do think you look inbred. Mm-hmm. Shit, did that hurt your feelings? I will never forget that for as long as I live. So, yeah, y'all tell me in the comments or comment below because I don't recall. I have not read Heather's book. It's not that I don't want to read Heather's book. I just don't think I would have a connect with Heather's book. Like, for me to read a book, I don't read often. I need to have a very good intellect connect with the book for me to read it. So it's nothing personal against Heather. I'm sure the book is amazing. I'm an author as well. I want people to say my book is amazing. So for that, I just need to know those little details. So the next thing we hear is about the documentary about her church, because Andy said that he loved to see, Mary preach. That was one of the highlights for him of the season. And he says, there is a documentary coming out, which her sister did participate. Now, to keep in mind with you guys, me and Mrs. Best already did our recap on Mrs. Best's channels, and she handles all the TLC network shows. So that is on her channel. So if you want to know what we thought personally about Mary Cosby's documentary based on her church, you'll go to Mrs. Best's channel, subscribe to her channel, and actually get the opinions of what we said all on your own. It's very good. We did a really good job, went through all the details. Very good. I was not a fan of the documentary. I don't think it really gave me anything else that I really need, but made me question a lot of different people outside of Mary. That's all that did for me. So Mary said that she, heard about the documentary because at this time it wasn't out. And she said that, you guys will know the truth. I think the reason why, they say it's a cult is because of how the way the operations run in the Pentecostal church. She said they had been saying that when my grandmother had the church. And part of me does believe that because y'all have to understand Salt Lake City is a predominantly Mormon religion-based community. So to have a Pentecostal church and be Black in doing it, I really think that there probably was some drawbacks that mama, their grandmother received. So I'm pretty sure that did exist. We're gonna get to a couple other things, but I want to get Mrs. Best's opinion. How did you feel about Mary's response to the documentary? Not being out. Do you think that she was worried about it? Do you think that she had any concerns for what people would think?
Um, I think Mary was worried about the documentary, no matter what she says. I think
Hmm.
that Mary on Salt Lake City, Mary in interviews, and Mary in real life are all three different people. She's very intelligent and knows what she's doing. She would be a fool not to worry about the documentary coming out. Because regardless of how people felt about TLC, if this documentary would have came out at the time that all of these allegations came out, people would have felt differently. People are just butthurt because a lot of people grew to love Mary. She's a part of a loved show that's a huge part of pop culture right now. And they brought up some old stuff. So that's the only reason people don't like the documentary. People nitpicking and trying to find stuff called confirmation bias. Look it up because we all guilty of it to a certain extent. But people looking for stuff to confirm their biases that are either in Mary's favor or against Mary. So that's how I view the documentary. I think she did handle it well, though. I think if more people handled controversy coming out about them the way that Mary handled it, which is answer the questions, don't tell people they cannot ask them, don't get weird in interviews, just answer the questions as they come, but stick to the I'm not saying much or people could feel how they feel, things go away quickly. They go away much quicker than we would expect. So I don't really have much to say on her documentary. I question Bravo, NBC Universal, because why didn't you do the documentary? I feel like that would have been a missed opportunity for Bravo. And I also feel like based on Surviving Mormonism, they would have done it better because you have a Housewives flagship show surrounded by religion. Lean into that, Bravo, because when you let other networks do it, it turns into a mess. But other than that, the stuff with her son, I don't feel that's a storyline for her. I wish him well. I empathize with her as a woman and a mom and someone who loves someone who struggled with substance abuse because that has been prevalent in my family. So I get it. I don't have much to say other than I think she's handling it the appropriate way. And I wish Robert Jr. the best. Mary doesn't have a storyline. If you're not going to talk about your fucking church, and if you're not going to, you can only say so much about your son because that's his story, his life, his situation. What the fuck else are you giving us? We don't see your church. We don't see your man. And now your son's locked up. So if Mary continues on the show, she's going to have to do a little bit more because right now it's giving Karen Huger. You're fun to watch. You give us funny one-liners. Your confessionals are everything. But you don't really participate in the same way that other housewives would on this cast. So I feel like they need to figure it out with Mary. But that's all I have to say.
No, I appreciate that absolutely. The next thing they question Mary is her issues with Brittany. A question came up that says, "How did you feel about Brittany saying you're the most ungodliest woman that she's ever encountered?" And Mary said she didn't like that. And Brittany says that, I didn't like saying that either because that actually is a contradiction. Me calling that out about you actually would say the same thing about me. So I did not like it, but I will say, Mary, you are very mean to me. You say things that you say I'm not cute, I'm not funny, I'm not this, I'm not that. You laugh and poke fun at me. And Mary's like, I'm not doing this. I'm not gonna do this with her. I'm not gonna sit up here and argue like it is what it is. I didn't just come out the blue and just say these things to you, Brittany. You had to have provoked a reaction from me, and that was the reaction. So you're saying that I called you all these things. What did you do to get that response? Brittany didn't have an answer. Now, I tried to go back and rewatch that episode where they had got into it on the boat. I try to watch other things. I just really feel like, Mary, you just don't like this lady. And I wish she would just come out flat out and just say, I don't like this lady. I don't know why she's here. I don't know why we have to film with her. I don't understand this. She does not bring anything to the show but tears, white woman drama, and well, she probably can't say white woman drama, but she just does things that I just feel like it's for attention. So
Mary could make it clear, and really any of the cast can make it clear. Like, listen, we have our beefs and our quarrels and all our little things, but don't bring no ain't shit bullshit ass mama on this show. That's the worst thing to me that you can be as a woman. That's one of the worst things you could do is some bullshit ass mama that's just okay with ignoring your babies. And for what? This lady don't have a drug addiction. She don't have a sex addiction. She don't have no type of addiction. She's got income. So there's no reason for Brittany to be the mother that she is, in my opinion. There's not one reason that she should be this. And y'all know if Brittany looked like me, you will be coming down a lot fucking harder on her with this storyline with her kids. I feel like Mary just needs to be honest along with the rest of the cast. Bravo shouldn't have had Brittany come back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why Brittany is here. She got on everybody's nerves. You know, this is a cast that can't control themselves and of potential fraudsters. So why would you include somebody like Brittany on this show? I feel like if Brittany wasn't talking to Jared, that Bravo wouldn't have been interested in her. I just do.
Interesting point, because I mean, even though I didn't know who he was, but I do get. I think she did.
His name, the Osmond name. Like, if she wasn't attached to somebody with that name, nobody would give a fuck. I don't know why Bravo is doing this with Brittany. They're gonna kill City the way they're killing their other Housewives franchises if they don't switch it up. Heather need to go, Brittany need to go, Meredith need to go.
Yeah, the three names that DM Rock said, those are all ladies who need to go. But I understand why Brittany and Meredith are on questionable terms based on what Meredith did at the end of this episode. So let me read the comments really quick. He probably kept going over there after Mary kept telling him to stay away from that girl. You better leave that little girl alone. Oh, I'm 100% sure that Mary told this boy this. I'm 100%. Don't you take your ass over there to that little girl house after she did all this shit. Because I'm not going to come get you if she do it. If you do it again, I'm not going to come get you. But Mama, I love, you know how y'all know how we do. Mama, I love her. I just want to be with her. And then when you say you cannot be with this lady, that's reverse psychology in our brain that says, oh, we need to prove Mama wrong. That's exactly what I feel like that's what happened. Like, that's my logical guess. Me being a boy, and I've been strung out over somebody before, so I totally get it. I do. I totally get it. But it is wrong. She had a legal paperwork. She wanted you to leave her alone. Her family wanted you gone. You should stay gone. But, it is what it is. He is already there. Nothing we can say. But, yeah, I definitely feel like Mary did do that. I do. When Thanos' book first came out, didn't Robert Jr. curse the whole cast out except for his mother online? I don't remember that. I don't remember that. If he did, I don't know if it was over. Was it over Heather's book or was it over something else? Because I feel like I know he did something online, but I don't think it was over Heather's book, though. Or around the time. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I have to look into that. That's a good question. As I said, I don't have a connection to that. I don't know if I can connect with Heather because the things that Heather says is just problematic. So I think her book will probably do the same thing. Kevin Reynolds, hey, thank you for making it. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. So then, after we move on from Brittany, the conversation, with Mary gets heated where there's a, spat between her and Lisa. And what brought it up is that Mary does not feel that Lisa, Meredith did stand up for Lisa when it came to the lawsuits. And, this would crack me up because Mary was getting Lisa's ass all the way together, and I loved every bit of it. Even though I don't think it was warranted, Mary, I don't. But it was nice to see. It really was. And Lisa was like, well, hold on. What did Mary say? Mary said, I don't defend. And Mary's like, no, I don't think that, there's a lot of things about what you said to Meredith that I cannot overlook. You calling her a garbage whore. You say she effed everybody in New York. All of these things I couldn't be able to overlook. And even Andy was like, yeah, as a viewer, I don't know how you two were able to get back on good terms. Like, I don't understand that. And Meredith was like, well, it happened 4 years ago, and we made up 2 years ago. So, I mean, I don't understand if me and Lisa are over it. And Andy's like, no, that's fine. That's perfect. But y'all didn't give us anything about how you two got back to that stage. Y'all didn't say, well, this is what we had to do. This was the apology that was taken. Not that they needed to do.
You're on a reality show and you bitches forgot to work for your check. You can't just have a beef that big and be collected a check and then never show anybody how you overcame that. Because in real life or reality TV, fact, fiction, whatever the hell it is, if somebody says the things that Lisa said about you and you remain friends with them even after an apology, there's a such thing as being able to forgive and not forgetting, move on, be cordial, but to never trust that person again. Meredith making it look like nothing ever happened.
You know what? That's a good point.
You look weak if that's the case, because how insecure are you that somebody could call you a garbage whore, talk about your family, talk about how you are as a parent, a wife, and a mother, say the shit on national television, all because they mad. If we think back to why Lisa did that, all because she was mad that her friend held her accountable without disrespecting her. So,
Unless it was true.
child, I cannot.
Unless it was true. Because
Even if
now
it
I'm
was
on.
true, even if it was true or not, if somebody is your friend and they say stuff like that about you, it's even worse if it's true that she said that because she was mad. So Meredith, no matter what way is sliced and diced, you either a weak bitch or Lisa got something on you. But either way, you did not do your job, DJ Meredith Marks, and you did not work for your check because you just forgave this lady with no reason why on a cast full of women that's not even allowed to watch their episodes before they air anymore because of the shit that they say about each other, the shit they allege, the way they behave online. So I'm pretty, no, Meredith, go somewhere. I'm never going to let that go. And nobody should let it go. And I'm glad Mary said it.
Yeah, I'm glad she did too, because it's like, y'all have to understand something. That with the shit that Lisa said about Meredith, there's no way me and Lisa would be friends again. I wouldn't even want to sit on the same couch as her. Because I would be too conflicted to flick her in the back of her ear. Like I would be too conflicted to I would just be thinking, oh, she said I was a garbage horse. She said I'd have fucked everybody in New York City. I would be fuming. Every time I look at her, that would be the first thing that popped into my head. So that's why I couldn't be friends with her. But Meredith is stronger than me. And the thing about Meredith is calculated. So Meredith knows that regardless of Lisa's, hot mic moment, Lisa is a great ally. Because Lisa is, when you're loyal to Lisa, she's loyal back to you. So she knows that she can use Lisa as a mouthpiece. She knows that she can skate under the radar, plant a seed, and Lisa's going to fight on her behalf. Because Meredith doesn't want to do that. Meredith just wants to just get around, say little smart comments, be superior, and then make Lisa be the fall guy because Lisa got a big ass mouth. That's all that shit is.
If that's the case, people are going to respect Meredith even less than they already do. Because when people say stuff about you, depending on what they say and who it impacts in your life, especially if somebody say something about your husband, your family, and how you moving on TV, you just don't forgive something like that. And if you forgiving stuff just to think, I think sometimes you along with a lot of people give attorneys too much because they also teach you to turn it off and to turn it on when you're in certain fields. And I feel like Meredith understands that. So I can't see her forgiving her for that reason. This has always been my opinion of Meredith, even separate from that. I feel like some people are not confrontational in the right way for reality television. And while she's been funny and extra with her moments, the lady has shown us time and time again with confrontation that she does not do well. She's going to forgive you, walk away, ignore you, or apparently harass you on a plane. So Meredith can go.
So Andy then asked Lisa, how did she feel when Mary defended her? Or Mary took her side? Lisa was frozen. And Mary said, Andy, she don't know what you're talking about. And everybody started laughing because Lisa didn't know what Andy was talking about. And Mary said, somebody help her. Somebody help her, please. And she's like, no, I know that Mary had my back and I appreciate it. Me and Mary over the last 5 years have had deep conversations. We have talked. We have tried to get on a new accord. I tried to be very good friends with Mary. And Mary acknowledges that, yeah, we did. But Lisa, don't act like you are, that you're not a dark person. Like, you are very dark, Lisa. And Andy's like, wow, Mary, she's dark. But she goes, but Andy, this is my opinion. Hell, what y'all want? This is my opinion. She dark. What y'all want me to say? And I do agree with Mary. I do. And I agree because I feel like there's no length or gall that Lisa will not go to prove somebody to be whatever they are at the moment. That's a very dark thing when you will go to the depths to prove something about somebody that probably don't even matter in tomorrow's time. So the fact that Lisa will go the distance, and Mary brought up good points. Before any rumors really were out there about her church, Lisa made sure on season 2 that they came to fruition on the show by bringing Cameron on there. That was another thing that I felt like Lisa was a little bit dirty for. But hey, they wanted to come after Mary, so they brought out the big guns, and that was one of them. So Mary has her right to call Lisa dark. I actually do agree with Mary. Mrs. Best, how did you feel about that?
Yeah, I agree with her. It's just pot calling kettle black because Mary's whole life is dark. And I mean, outside of the allegations, you married to an old ass man that's a pervert and allegedly hurting people in your church. Your son's on drugs and depressed and don't understand no from his girlfriend and the family. and they almost ran her ass up off this show as quiet as it's kept. So I said, hey, it takes one to know one. Better listen up, Lisa. Lisa knows how she is though and how she's perceived. She's just not going to admit it because she thinks in her mind. You could tell Lisa's like, well, I hang out with Ben Affleck and Ben Affleck would never entertain this. She thinks like that. So I just be like, okay, Lisa, telling her something is like trying to tell a baby that speak a whole different language from you to do something. They just gonna look at you and be like, huh? Like
the way things age. I wish that Ben Affleck interview had came out right when they was filming this shit. Because Ben Affleck said, "Who is this woman again? Who that lady?"
It came just a little bit too late, and then
I was like, "Shit!"
Recently, just came at Lisa attacking her plastic surgery and her hair. So all these celebrities that Lisa claims to know and be around and so elite, none of them know who the fuck she is, and the ones who do know who she is say that she look broke. So.
Because that man showed his he's right, Chad. He said, I don't know no Lisa. I ain't been to Salt Lake City in 8 years. Baby, but Ben Affleck, I was hollering when I saw that. I because
it was Matt Damon trying to help him. Mind you, their movie was really good on Netflix. But it was Matt Damon trying to help him next to him. It's a show. She's involved with. He was really trying to help him as the lady with the context clues. And Ben Affleck looked and said, listen, I'm not that guy. I'm not trying to be mean. Ben Affleck pulled the Kiki Palmer on Lisa Barlow. He said, sorry to this man. I don't know you.
I don't know this lady. Because Lisa put it on like she was good friends with them that first episode or something.
No, she wasn't. Because if this was your business, we would see the celebrities. When Candy came on Housewives of Atlanta and she was a known celebrity at opening businesses, we saw the who's who from Atlanta to New York to Tokyo. When you look at shows like Housewives of New York City, the old school cast or even the current cast, if you look at their jobs and portfolios, when they're not on television, you see them with celebrities. You look at Lisa Milan with Dubai, honestly, the whole Dubai cast, with the exception of Brooks. They're always seen with celebrities and frequently to have had friends and stuff like that. So for Lisa Barlow to be saying that when you're in fuck ass Salt Lake City, a place that's literally known for the church and scandal, stop. And then when they said Sundance ain't even in Utah no more, girl, bye.
Yeah.
So you wasn't doing a good enough job to keep the shit in your hometown, Lisa. If you just pick apart Lisa, it's really easy. That's why we need Meredith off this show and freaking Heather, because I feel like Heather and Meredith always kind of come and defend Lisa.
Yeah.
And if they would stop doing that, Lisa wouldn't be as powerful, because you could just nitpick her a little bit. Like, I'm a regular bitch making $85K a year after tax. Like, if I could spot out that this lady's bullshitting about who she knows and what she does, then anybody could.
Absolutely.
Anybody could. Lord help this cast.
I'm trying to tell you. So, y'all, we have to go over what happened on the plane. And it has now been confirmed, even though we all knew this, that there is no footage of what happened. So it now becomes a he say, she say, what happened, what didn't happen, how elevated was her voice, how elevated was not her voice, how much did Brittany cry, how much she probably didn't cry at all, how much her seat got adjusted, her seat probably never got touched, how much her hair got pulled, she probably just pulled out of the track. I just don't understand exactly what's going on here. So they're explaining from a point of view that we have no vision of. We only can use our imaginations, pretty much. They ask, why didn't no one record what happened? And everyone makes up an excuse talking about, oh, well, see, I didn't even think to record because we made this promise after Brittany that we would not record. And to me, I felt like that was bullshit. I don't give a fuck about Brittany. If I see some shit,
promises all the time.
Right. Like, if I
break this one because somebody's acting a plum fool.
Right. If I knew Meredith lies and my antics is seeing her, or my intent is seeing her hollering at somebody on a plane, that is not a normal behavior, I'm going to record it, send it to production and say, hey, y'all use this for what you will because ain't no cameras up here right now. So, and I don't want y'all to think when I call her ass out that I'm lying about what the fuck I saw. I would have definitely recorded that shit. So the fact that no one has recorded, not production, we can't even get a production's commentary on it. We can't get nothing because production was in a whole different class on the plane.
Oh, no. This was a Delta plane. So while, yes, you are on a whole different class, where my Scout Miles members at? If they showed the plane before they got on, if you've been on that type of plane, you do walk through business class, first class, all of that. Yes. But these ladies stated that they were first class and that the producer was in a different class. If the producer was in business class or something, fine, I would understand if they cannot hear. But based on the Delta planes that I am on, and I'm on planes quite a bit, you would be able to hear something with how they were describing it from coach, from economy. Like, you would be able to hear it even if it was happening in first class. Motherfuckers act like a goddamn door is separating shit that's sealed off with sound. It'd be a curtain, if that, sometimes. Okay. So I think production is covering their own ass because they have to, because this cast has been in human resources fucking nightmare to watch. And I can imagine what it's like dealing with them on the back end. But I feel like production was trying to cover their own ass, because why would a producer not be checking on a cast as they're traveling, knowing that Housewives have a history of getting into it on airplanes? Production is hiding something. I think they do have the footage, allegedly. I just do, because Bravo, we've been doing cast trips, and Housewives has been along far before anybody fucking thought of Housewives of Salt Lake City. Cast trips have been happening. We've been had issues and things alleged on planes. And usually they pull out the footage and show us. The only reason you wouldn't pull out the footage and show us is if you're on a show full of a cast of fraudulent scammers who lie about black eyes and all sorts of other stuff. They got to protect themselves. So, that's my mistake.
No, I agree with you. I'm not bringing up Britney's unicorn. I don't give a fuck about that. That shit was stupid. Moving on from there, they asked Britney, or they asked the whole people, did y'all believe the TikTok? What was said to TikTok? Everyone was all like, no, we didn't believe it at all. And I said, y'all are full of shit. All of y'all that said no are full of shit. Let me tell y'all why y'all are full of shit. If that TikTok did not matter, and this includes Meredith, we wouldn't have this huge scandal that nobody got video recordings of on a fucking plane. We would have laughed the shit off and been done and been on our merry way. I do not believe that. I believe that Meredith got teed off because she didn't know what the hell else Seth was doing out there. And this is why I know, because when she called his ass on that thing, first off, he didn't sound like he was, in a normal state of mind. I will say that. He said, "Hi, honey, what you doing?" And she goes, "Well, we're filming live and everything." And Meredith said, "I just have a question for you, honey. Do you have any girlfriends other than myself?" And he goes, "If anyone does not know this about me, I am infatuated with you. And, if anyone thinks I've ever cheated on you, then they believe in Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy, Bigfoot, the Boogeyman, everything else." That's what Seth said. No, Meredith, I've never cheated on you. No, Meredith, I don't have any girlfriends. No, Meredith, anything like that. Seth didn't say yes or no to anything. He was going around the mulberry bush and being sarcastic and silly on that
because
phone.
Theory is real until somebody actively tells you that they are not. Because for
Boom.
all you know, something has gone under your pillow and you did not see who put it there. So
Boom.
He's playing a game of manipulation through perspective.
Yep.
Which doesn't surprise me based on who he's married to and what he does for a living. But the fact that Meredith took that and came on television as if it would work on the rest of us. I'm sorry, I'm going to just call a spade is exactly why this country is the way it is, because the colorless always think they one up in somebody or smarter than somebody. When we looking at you like, you really trying to bullshit us like this? If your husband cheated on you, just say he cheated on you. And if you choose to stay with him, hell, people are more likely to accept that than somebody getting cheated on by a boyfriend or fiance or just a baby daddy. Because then at least you're legally tied. I never understand why people try to hide the obvious, especially if the man is running around in public, taking other hoes to dinner and doing stuff. I never understand it. It's giving regular Robin Meredith.
It
It's
really
getting
is.
irregular, Robin, because Seth must have gave an excuse like Juan Dixon would have. She didn't have enough quarters, so I had to go with her to the laundromat.
Yeah, that's crazy. Uh, After that, they then argue about, gatekeeping, and they were talking about some man that Meredith went on a date with. I don't care because that happened in season one. Meredith already said when her and Seth were separated, they see all the people. We all know this. That shit is old. For y'all to bring that stuff now, it's like we don't care about that shit now. So it then comes to the point of Brittany and Meredith. Andy asked both of them, "Where do you two stand?" And Brittany said, "We don't stand anywhere." And Meredith said, "Yeah, pretty much what she said." And, they go into, once again, the flight, the apologies, the everything of that. And Meredith said, "Okay, let me just be really, really clear. Because me and Brittany had another issue before we started filming this season. And the reason why I didn't confront Brittany on camera is because to the viewer, it would not have made sense if I did it. There would have been a lot of explanation. So this is what happened. I had a man that did my nails, and I referred him over to Brittany. Now, somewhere after he had did Brittany's nails, and in between time, he had got into it with a Jewish man and said that all Jewish people were. I can't really say it on YouTube, but
He
very
made an
offensive.
anti-Semitic comment.
Yeah, there we go. Anti-Semitic comment. And she said, from Meredith's perspective, after that was exposed, Brittany and Jared wrote a Google review on him, upping him and supporting him. And Meredith said that because it attacks her heritage, she cannot associate with Brittany. And this was hard for her. And her and Brittany had this conversation when she brought it to Brittany. She got a halfway apology and she, said she tried to let it go, but for the sake of filming, she just decided to move forward, and that's what it is. And I said, Meredith, that's where you fucked up at. But we're gonna move on to get Brittany's side. Brittany said, "Well, that happened, but no, but it was. I have to tell my side of the story. There's my side of the story that matters too." And I said, when the man reached out to me and said, "I did Meredith Mark's nails. I would like to do yours. All I ask in return is for a Google review." And I said, "Sure, that's the least I can do. If you're gonna do my nails for free, yeah, come on." And so after he did that, I started getting all these DMs of what he had did and everything. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I deleted my review and I called this man and said, lose my contact information and never contact me again. I don't want anything else to do with you. And I told Meredith that, and I sat with Meredith, I cried with Meredith, I grabbed her and just bear hugged her, and it was everything. And I just cannot believe this. And Meredith, in the meantime, released like, this is a great performance. Like, isn't it? It's a great performance. And she goes, we moved on from this. Like, I cannot believe Meredith would, like, I just can't believe Meredith. You know this isn't true. I would never do that. I am not someone who would be anti-Semitic or even, support someone like that. Meredith, I can't. This is so unfair, you guys. This is unfair. Meredith looked at her and said, oh, well, you know what? That was the issue I had with you. I don't believe you. Pulled the Uno reverse card on Brittany. Whew. Meredith, I get it as a black man. I get it. However, that was wild. Mrs. Best, I have to start with you first because I got to collect myself because that was a lot to go. How did you feel about Meredith dropping that bomb at the end of that reunion?
And my apologies. I am looking down because I am working. I am not being disengaging. So just letting you know to be polite. Meredith, here's the thing. If you're going to be the Jewish lady crying, oh, anti-Semitism, then make sure that you've actually experienced it and make sure that you're not mad at someone for entertaining someone who they only found through you.
Yes.
You are the person connected to the person who made offensive comments about Jewish people. It's also a very, very sensitive time for people of the Jewish faith and of that ethnicity as a whole. considering all that's going on in the Palestine and all of that. This is not the place to discuss our opinions on it, but as a Jewish person, Meredith, you should understand that there are a lot more people making comments and things like that against Jews for less, just for no reason. So the fact that you would single out and attack Brittany is crazy, when the only reason she allowed this person to touch her fingernails was because of you. Meredith is also what I like to call, now when it comes to Christians, my mama, we used to talk shit. Yes, I went to church heavy and all of that. At one point, I was teaching Sunday school, but we had a term, we like to call them the holiday Christians. They only show up for Christmas, Easter, the Thanksgiving service, things like that. Okay, Meredith gives that for Jewish people. Okay, we know that she's Jewish because she talks about it, but unless she doesn't have a storyline or is fighting for her life on this show, she doesn't do anything very Jewish. She doesn't really live her life the way that they would live their life in the faith, with the exception that she refuses to leave her husband. Like, other than that, that's about as Jewish as it gets for Meredith outside of her blood. So I'm looking at her and I'm kind of like, to try and put on someone that they're anti-Semitic, especially on NBC, is a big deal, because people will be more offended at that than actual racism that happens against Hispanics and Black people and other people on the network and in the world. So I felt like that was a little bit of a Karen moment for Meredith, is what I'm saying. Not only is it a Karen moment, people like Meredith we need less of in the world, because how dare someone with privilege go and try to manipulate others into thinking that they don't have a privilege or that they have been harmed or hurt. I ain't seen not a damn post, DJ Meredith. I done seen you spinning tables, but I haven't seen you posting anything about your people, what's going on, or any of that. But now you want to care on TV when you look crazy. So while I don't like Brittany, I do feel like if I was Brittany, I would have stormed the fuck off stage too. You're not going to make me out to be a bigot just because you don't like that I said the truth about your husband. Be mad at your nigga, not me. I'm just saying.
I do feel like Meredith held this close to her chest, because the fact that this never made the blogs, the fact that this never went anywhere, this wasn't shown on camera.
They did not both cry, Shani. Brittany had a tear and was
Brittany's makeup was all messing up. Yeah.
Unlike Meredith, outside of this show, Brittany has a career in the limelight doing movies and things of that nature, whether she's A-list or D-list. So Brittany's tears, I think, were legit. Meredith acting sad and crying with that nasty wrinkle because they didn't contour it off right. But sitting there trying to cry with no tear coming out, that's my biggest pet peeve. If you will go so low that you'll use your own religion and culture as a way to attack somebody because of some stuff that your husband did, you sold out yourself, you insulted your own religion, and you participated in anti-Semitic behavior. And I would question a Jewish person going to a person who has the ability to make anti-Semitic comments more than I would question a Mormon like Brittany going over there. Because what the hell would she care? So I'm looking and I'm kind of like, And I also think Brittany bullshitted on she held Meredith while they both cried. I don't think Meredith would let that lady touch her.
Me either. I didn't believe that either.
Camera, especially off camera. It's just the problem because they both liars.
That's why I have a hard time with this, because I understand why Meredith will call it out. I would have too. But at the same time, Meredith, I don't think that was fair, because if this was something like Andy said, well, didn't you use this person as your nail tech? And she goes, yeah, that's why it was so upsetting. So if you knew it was upsetting and Brittany had no idea, and you can't say, well, it was on the news, and I don't watch the news. I'm barely on my phone on social media. Like, anything that I get pertaining to things that happen in blogs is because Mrs. Vest, Kevin Reynolds, and a slew of other people send me the shit. So, Meredith, that wouldn't have worked on me. That wouldn't have worked, because you expect me to actually take my time and go and find something for somebody you referred to me, by the way. You expect me to do all of that? And then I did the right thing by deleting my comment and then telling that person never to contact me again. I think Brittany did do the right thing. However, because she is, a white woman, Mormon, we got to call a spade, it's never going to land well. No matter how she tries to defend it.
Brittany handled it appropriately. I think we can all agree on that. The other thing is, How is someone supposed to know who's what, who's who? Before translation apps, unless you spoke Korean or Vietnamese, you didn't know what the fuck your nail text was saying about you. Hey, as soon as technology got great, you start learning depending on how your feet look. Luckily, my feet look good and I always tip, so my nail lady love me. But I'll never forget I had a friend say, I use my translation app on my phone. This bitch was talking about I got a bum toe, all types of stuff. So I'm just looking like, you never know what people are saying about you. You're never going to know who's racist and who's not racist, especially when it comes to business, because somebody could hate Jews, somebody could hate Black people, somebody could hate you just because of your haircut, but they will still service you at their business as if you never, as if you never knew, because that's what they're going to do. So Brittany did what she could do. But Meredith trying to make this into a bigotry thing, you're making the show dark. Go away.
Which is why I see why they're on a pause in unknown statuses, because I know HR had to get their hands on this because of what happened. So, yeah. And the fact that Meredith, because this happened before the show filmed. So the fact that Meredith would then bring this on the show and say this was her issue with Brittany, and saying the reason why she didn't bring it up on camera is because it wouldn't have made sense. No, it would have made perfect sense to us had you brought it on camera.
Why are you vetting what to and what to not bring up on camera?
Right.
Now, if it was something like, oh, my daughter is getting married, but she had a miscarriage, fine, I could respect that. But when it's something that relates to the show and your culture, which you have heavily shared on the show, we want to fucking see it. That's what gives us a show. And that's why this ill-shaped bitch need to go. She need to go. I'm so tired of Meredith. I really am. Let Meredith let her spin her way into whatever club or whatever it is that she's doing. Let her go figure out her marriage. But Meredith has been a problem, in my opinion, on this show for a long time. A lot of people feel like, damn, Mrs. Best, you don't like her. But look at what she do. When she does do stuff, it's too much, or it's very Karen-like, and I'm tired of her.
That was the reverse part I did not need on my roster. When she did that, I said, whoa, Meredith, you did not take it there.
Yeah, it wasn't even a Uno reverse move, because that should actually do something. This hurt her more than it did Brittany, I think.
Well, I don't know. Here's the thing. We don't know how this is going to hurt them. But to me, it's made a statement to where it would have, like, if people, like, we use deductive reasoning, you and I both, because we're trained in it. So it may not look like that to most, because most people are like, oh my God, she proved that Brittany was racist or anything. You know, people would think that way with it. We know better than that. Because that can prove anything.
I've seen from the audience in the comments, nobody's
good.
That Meredith crazy. Because while we don't like Brittany, I think Brittany's too busy about which dick is going to be in her life next. The girl ain't even worried about her kids, let alone who's Jewish, who's Black, who's yellow, who's
right.
I don't believe that Brittany cared. Brittany give me, especially the holiday movie I did see her in. She was in there with a bunch of Black people. I done seen her do it, all sorts of stuff with all sorts of people. I don't really think Brittany has that in her, but I do think that Brittany is dumb enough to work with someone and give them a great review before like really looking into them. But we're all at fault.
Yeah, absolutely. Shani said, James, did you peep that scene with Lisa trying to get Jared to talk cashman shit about Todd? Yeah, and the reason why I didn't talk about that is because he never did say it. And they said that he said it on camera. The producers didn't show it.
But it was Lisa being shown trying to produce and get someone to talk about something on camera so she don't have to talk about her fucked up marriage or her husband's lack of parking skills. So what can we do?
Yeah, what can we do? I can't do anything with that. I saw it. I don't feel like it proved anything. Now, I do want to know, because Lisa said something that was very interesting to me, and I didn't really, not that it matters or anything. She said that if you want me to vote for you, you're going to say this. Now, when you say vote for somebody, what exactly is he running for, or what is he in a power to be voted for to do?
Lisa is just saying stuff. I'm really like, especially after this Ben Affleck thing, this lady is not as important and connected as she wants to seem. I don't even think there's nothing to vote for.
No, but that's what she said. I was curious. I thought, no, he ain't trying to run for office. Now, I know better than that. I was so confused by that. That's why I didn't talk about it because I was like, I tried to look it up to see if he was running for any type of office. Was he in politics in any kind of way? Was he head of the HOA association? I don't know because you have to vote for those people too. So I don't know. It could be anything at this point. But that was Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I can't wait to see what part three is going to look like. I don't know if Brittany's going to come back to the stage. She probably will. I think that was fucked up that Meredith did that. I do, especially if you got services from this man as well. You're no more innocent than she is, and you're no more guilty than she is. At the end of the day, y'all both was in the same boat. He just happened to do his dirt after you got rid of him and put him in Brittany's lap. So I just feel like that's not fair. So I just feel like Meredith, yeah, you lost me with that one for sure. I thought that was messed up. As I said, I understand why she did it because if I was a black man and this, I probably would have did the same shit. But the point of the matter is that I wouldn't have used that man's services. I think that would be the difference because I probably would have smelled because sometimes people when they have that kind of behavior, you usually can see it with certain conversations. It's usually very apparent.
It is. And that's another reason I call BS on this cast because Salt Lake City is a place where, no shade, people very strong in their opinions about race and religion. Mm-hmm. They are definitely there. So I feel like that's the best point you could have brought up.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. That's what I said. I understand it, but I don't think she had a right to. But I understand it being a black man and my encounters in this country. I do. I understand that very much. So, but I don't think it was right. I don't, especially when you use the same service that Brittany did. You did the same shit. I could see if you didn't use him and then he somehow got a hold of Brittany. Now, if that's what he had did, y'all, then we would have had a completely different conversation. But that's not what happened. So, yeah, we will see you guys next time. This was Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion part 2. The next time we will be on my channel will be sometime this week. I will do an updates video for you guys. At some point this week. I know we have a busy week on Mrs. Best channel. We have Love and Hip Hop Miami tomorrow. We have Love During Lockup on Saturday. What do we have on Friday? Oh, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills
and the Battle. And then Love and Hip Hop Atlanta is back in February, as well as Bell Collective. So we will both be
really busy.
Really
busy, y'all. Really busy. So we would appreciate it if y'all would like the video, subscribe to the channel, and then when you subscribe to me, subscribe to Mrs. Best, subscribe to Keywan J, subscribe to Shana, and subscribe to all the Black content creators and all content creators alike when y'all see them because they work hard for this. They really do. We all do. And it's not hard. All you have to do is click a button, tell YouTube you're interested in watching us the next time we come on live or we upload a video. Please do that for us. Please. Thank you, Shannon. We appreciate you. So we will see you guys next time on Mrs. Best channel, and I will keep you guys updated when I do an updates video. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.